Very many things. Accepting who I am. Being black is not a burden. It's not bad. It's not bad to be black. You always have somebody to pick you up. You always have somebody to stand by your side. Community, going through struggles.
It's being strong. It's fighting for what you believe in. It's doing what you love.
My mom seasons her food not with salt and pepper. I feel like I can do lots of different things with my life, and I feel like I can be the first of lots of different things. Like, you can do anything in your own power. And it's food. I love our food. But all the stuff that we've been through and stuff, just learning how to distill it and cope with it.
And your melanin, it just be glowing it.
That I can wear my hair really understand my humanity to this fullest extent.
The craziness of being black and living in a world or in a country that is white, but really isn't. It was built by people like us, people of color.
Being able to be strong, being able to fight for what you believe in, like diversity and its culture.
It's strong, like different from the rest. It like gives me like a real good vibe. I'm a stronger man. Like I'm like a human shield, and I can just stand like a soldier, and people can't really just turn me down because I can easily get back up and to be strong.
Black females and black males that are strong and they're like defying all odds. Black girls rock.
Means violence and love and forgiveness.
Joy, my hair, my Jamaican roots.
Well, black is beautiful.
Being black is a gift. Not having to be ashamed.
That's good because you know black is beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not.
Overpowering those standards that are set. It makes you stronger because black people are great.
I know that I'm different, but in like the best way possible. Being confident is a huge part of it because confidence shows that you're strong and that you're powerful. And I couldn't imagine being in any other skin other than mine in society now and in the future for everybody around us.
I am proud to be sitting in this chair as an African American female being a principal of a metropolitan high school. I am proud of my blackness. Of having its own culture and identity.
Blackness to me is an art, you know? It's like the way you do something, you know? That's the way you do it, the way you love it, you know? That's what blackness is. It's the love, it's from the heart, you know what I'm saying?
Having to be fearless in any situation that I'm put in, and basically having to be able to just make sure that I'm not scared of anything, and always having to be present.
Being proud of the color of your skin and knowing that you can achieve anything. I would never change my skin color for anything.
We come from so many different places and so many different backgrounds, and we have so much history. We have so many things to share.
It's my identity. It's who I am. It's what you see when you first lay eyes on me.
Being confident who I am and having high standards for myself.
Being viewed differently than non-black people. Unique. It's doing stuff knowing that you are black, proving to others that you can do it, not just because of your skin color.
I feel like it's everything from the food to everything. It's just awesome.
Black is beautiful, it's strong, it's embracing, it's powerful. It's power, it is resiliency, it is music and culture, it is diverse. Keep fighting, because it's a bunch of bull crap, all the things that go down just for the color of your skin, and it's horrifying and disgusting. But that's what is worth fighting for. I'm confused. Ask me the question again so I know what I'm going to say.
I wanted you to ask me a question.
Wait, can you ask a question one more time? Yeah.
What's that?
Your melanin.
And what's the word? What's the word?
Oh yeah, your melanin.
Oh, God. We all black. Bye.
everyone.
Oh, I did it. Okay, students who are a part of this, do you want to start heading backstage? Welcome to Soulfest 2018, everybody. Yeah. Wakanda forever, everybody. Okay, we're just gonna get set before we, I'm opening up the night with a poem, and then we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of everything, poetry, music, and fashion. I'm so excited! Ah! Okay, is everyone set? It's okay, we only rehearsed like twice. All right. Africa, it's me, your daughter, waving to you across Atlantic waters, wishing I could feel your earth beneath my toes, telling past mothers and fathers you are still in my soul. Your sands give me grit to carry on. Your mountains give me peaks to speak to gods. Your luscious greens feed me. Your skies remind me of the beyonds. And Africa, I have not forgotten you. You were ripped from me. Mother tongues gone so that all I have to call your spirits are Germanic words they tell me I can't speak right. I have not forgotten you. You were beaten out of me with rhythmic whips that gave me my resiliency. I was lied to about your riches, forced to believe we were just witches, forced to think you were ugly and poor, dirty and impoverished. I believed it in my core. They didn't tell me of your smarts, about your kingdoms and queendoms filled with culture and arts. They never told me of the Bantu or Timbuktu, Kran, Akan, Bassa, Bantu, and Zulu. They never told me of Kemet, Egyptians that are black, Nubia, Yoruba, Fulani, or San. And Africa, I'm sorry. I thought it was your fault. That after they took me, they came for you and left you in drought. Africa, I'm sorry. I believed what they said. That they were the saviors and without them you'd be dead. And Africa, I resent them. Because not only did they take you from me, but they tried to take you out of me. And when it couldn't be physical, they gave us bleach creams. But Africa, you live in me. The kink in my hair won't let me forget it. Your drumming in my heart won't let me forget it. And though I call you by the name that they gave us to use for you, I know in my heart that these sounds, these words, and phrases will never be enough to tell you that Africa, I love you, and I am in love with you, and you will always be our mother. Thank you. Look at the beautiful you, the beautiful you, the beautiful you, the beautiful you. Okay, my gosh, it's so exciting. I love celebrating blackness. Okay, I'm gonna just go through this outfit real quick because I know y'all wondering. Okay, this is called a lapa. It is from Nigeria, actually. This skirt is from Liberia. My jewelry is from, what's that? My jewelry is from the Ivory Coast, and my shirt I got at that, what's it called, the Global Market over and these shoes is from TJ Maxx. We're gonna get started with the first poet of the night. We got a bunch of students, very, very talented acting and poetry and singing to present to you guys tonight. So we're gonna get started with our first poet, Nkechi, and she has her poem, What is Blackness? So let's give it up for Nkechi.
I'm Nigerian and American. If you look at my skin, I'm a dark caramel with a touch of spice. If you look at my skin, you think that I am black. I am black because of the color of my skin. But I don't want to be identified as a group of people based on my appearance. I want to know more about being black and what it means. What does it mean to be black? What does black blackness really mean? There is more to a group of people than their appearances. Each person who is black is like a rose with slightly different shades of black. Each rose was breeded from different parts of the world with many languages along the way. Each rose was planted in one country, yet moved to a community garden. This garden consists of many shades, yet with many similarities. Their stems originated from one continent, yet different countries. The petals resemble each other. The beauties of these roses are not the only thing that make them similar. The people who represent the roses have a relative similar taste in music, clothing, and food. Being black means to have a community where you have ancestry from one continent, yet from countries, to form a garden in one place. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love the question, what is blackness? Because the truth is it cannot be answered in like a single phrase or a poem, because blackness is so diverse, and we know that because we're all over the world and we're experiencing all kinds of things. You know, whether you're a child of an immigrant or an immigrant yourself, or, you know, a descendant of slaves, blackness is so diverse. You can't, good job, girl, good job. So going on with this topic, we have our next poet, Talia, and she's going to be expressing furthermore about who we are and our blackness. So let's give it up for Talia!
Who we are. We are not an object that you can label by a color. We have hopes and dreams and plans for the future. We are not someone who you can use to make yourself feel better. The N-word, whore, Negro, slut, baby daddy isn't a title you have the right to bestow upon us, or any person for that matter. And if you think saying you're pretty for a black girl or you're smart for a black guy is a compliment, then you have another thing coming. I don't understand why we can't live in a world where we don't have to be worried about our brothers being shot in the streets or them being arrested for a crime they didn't commit. And our sisters looking and waiting for their child's father to come back into their life. Why do we have to deal with all the stereotypes that befall upon us? We are all human beings. We all love and love others. So why can't we accept our differences and come together as one people who are all on this planet we call Earth? Let's stop with all this racial tension and live our lives with no regrets. And I pray that this could not just be a dream, but in order to make this a reality, we have to set aside all our differences, prejudices, hate, anger, and make a change. But the question is, are you willing to make that change?
I like that shirt, and I like that bow on your head. It's cute. Okay, give it up one more time. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. I want to remind y'all, like, even though we're in Minnesota, we don't gotta be a Minnesotan audience, okay? So when we're up here and we're expressing our truths and giving you this poetry, you can be snapping, you can be going, yes, I feel that, say it again. You can do all of that, okay? We don't gotta sit quietly until the end. Just so you know, okay? So if you feel something, just snap and yell and rave, you know, do it all. That's what celebration is all about tonight. We are celebrating blackness and what blackness is. Yeah, and so with that being said, our next poet, who happens to be my cousin, I'll be here watching her all the time. Her name is Kylie Birch, and she's coming to you with her poem, Black Girl Why. Give it up for Kylie.
Black girl, why do you hide? Why do you burn your curly hair straight and dye your beautiful black hair light? Black girl, why do you hide? Why do you wear those fake lens, change yourself to impress ungrateful men if they do not love you in your skin you live in? Is white girl the latest trend? You say it's a phase, but when will you wear your black girl crown again? When? Black girl, why do you hide? Behind Snapchat filters, a lot of glitter. Those pictures, your skin being the lightest. Why are those your profile pictures on Twitter? Black girl, why do you cry? You are strong, smart, and beautiful. Don't let you think you are unsuitable. Because black girl, you are perfect the way you are. And your true self is unmutable. You hide your dark stretch marks, but darling, you are a landmark. Black girl, why do you change? Your voice got higher, your nose got thinner. Because you were born black does not make you a sinner. You do not have to make anything bigger or smaller, black girl. Your personality, your body was perfect. You was already a winner. Black girl, why do you think you're a mistake? You're put on earth this way because you were meant to be this way. You're molded like clay. Don't throw all that beauty away. Your hip, skin, hair, lip is amazing. You shouldn't want to change that any day. You're blazing. Black girl, you slay. Black girl, why do you hide? Black girl, you are perfect. That is no lie.
To let you guys know who I am. My name is Ashanti Sakina Ford. I am a teaching artist and actress and improviser within the Twin Cities community, and I also am a teaching artist in Washburn's Black Box acting program. If you've heard of it, can I get some snaps and claps? That's who I am. And so I hosted Soulfest last year with Mayada, who is a singer, and it was really fun, and I'm so happy to be doing it again. This next scene that we have coming up was created by students in Theater 1 last semester, and much like Kylie's poem, it is speaking to black women and black girls, and it's just expressing the magic that we have, okay? Boop, magical. So while they're setting up, we're gonna get you guys started here. How's the audience doing tonight? How you doing? Can I just wait clap? If that's like a 5, what is your 10 like? That's what I wanna know. If that's a 5, what's your 10 like? Okay, alright, let's give it up for Black Girl Magic! Little girl, 5 years old, she's already been got it. Go first. I just need to come from me. Okay.
Louder, can't hear you.
Enough sugar. If it doesn't have, we take it back. Got it? Anyways, I want a nice sized chicken nugget, heart shape. You know what a heart shape is, right? Yeah. Okay. And I want barbecue sauce, bring ketchup. I'm in. Barbecue sauce, bring on top of it. I want love, because I know someone out there who loves me, and it gotta be me. If it's not me, I take it back. Okay. Can you do table number 7?
I'd love to, but I just spilled all this juice and I really need to. I'm sorry.
Can you do it? Actually, I was about to go on my break. It's your 3rd break today. I'm really tired. Here you go. About time. No, they stressing me out. They overworking me in the kitchen. What? You need to march up behind in there. Tell them that y'all gonna give me a break right now or you're adios. No. Don't check that either. Remember you need the money to bed, you know. And you know German. Wear your conscience, duh. So, do these. No, don't listen to her. Like I said, God, you're giving me a headache. I got something I gotta say. I am strong and powerful. I am determined and no one will knock me down. I may fall and you may laugh, but I will always get up stronger. Yeah.
All right, class, today we'll be working on our math assignment, and we need to do this in silence so everyone can focus. So just get to work. Who threw that? Nevaeh, did you throw that paper?
No.
It came from where you were sitting. I know it was you.
From where I'm sitting, there's other people around where I'm sitting, so ask them.
Okay, I'll be fair. Was that you, Cece?
No.
Was that you, Paige?
No.
What about you, Meg?
No.
See, they didn't throw it. It must have been you. Nevaeh, you're always
Oh my God, you always
distractions.
want to argue with me every single day. Like, can you take a breath?
Well, you're
You
always
got other
throwing
work to do.
paper in my
You got-
class.
Okay, I don't care. Yup, definitely. Goodbye. Leave a message at the Go. Take your method. We're your conscience. Duh. So this teacher always blames things on me when there's clearly other people in this class.
Maybe not, don't talk so much. You know, they don't want them thinking you some ghetto black girl or anything.
No. I just had it done. You have to stand up and talk for yourself. So how long will you talk like this? But then you're gonna think I'm those kind of stereotypes.
That only one time. After that, you're gonna get your right.
You got a point. I got this.
Are we ready to keep working silently?
Yeah. I got something to say first.
What now?
On the outside, I'm a strong black girl. But in the inside, I'm worried about all the challenges I have to face, but I know I am a strong black girl. I know I did some things in the past, but that's what makes me a strong black girl today. I fight through anything because I know I am a strong warrior, because I am a strong black girl. You guys might be able to talk so much about me, but you're only hurting the outside of me and the inside of yourself. Us black girls are strong, beautiful, magic.
The baby. So in that scene, I didn't mention them before, but the name of the students who were in that scene were Nevaeh, Catchy, Pear, Cece, May, Tara, Paige, I have you name them. I'm playing for that. Up next, so continuing, the idea and continuing the subject of being black and being magical and being a woman, we have a young man by the name of Lamonte Lewis who is going to perform his poem called Women Soldiers. Lamonte, can we give it up for him, please?
Understanding women soldiers. Instead of a beat, I use fists to fight. Instead of a heartbreak, it turns cold. Instead of a man making you sad with so much negative words, you smile to let yourself know you are a soldier. I invented women soldiers. Strong women are soldiers. The battles y'all go through, or the battles to be prepared for, you will remain to be a women soldier. Nothing but a beautiful women that show love all day. Just know y'all are strong. Don't let no man, and I repeat, no man, tell you wrong. Faith will come along. God will keep y'all beautiful and also keep your mind to know that you are strong. Leave that man to be gone because he is missing out on a beautiful woman soldier that is strong.
Wakanda forever. In the army of the Lord, I'm a soldier. Thank you, Lamonte. Thank you. So up next, we're gonna switch up into some singing. I love all the poetry. It's gonna be nice to hear some flowing words singing. Okay. So Amma, get on up here, girl. She's gonna be singing "I Know Where I've Been" from Hairspray, the musical. Give it up for Amma.
why I pray the answers up ahead. 'Cause I know where I've been. There's a road we've been traveling, lost so many on the way, but the riches will be plenty, worth the price we've had to pay. There's a dream, there's a struggle we have yet to win, and there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going, and I know where I've been. We must travel. There's a promise we must make. Oh, but the riches will be plenty. Work for risk and the chances we take. There's a dream, the future struggle we have yet to win, and there's pride in my heart. Lift us till tomorrow. Just to sit still would be a sin. Oh, Lord knows I know where I've
That's amazing, amazing. That song makes me think of Sankofa. Clap if you know what Sankofa means. Okay, that's a small clap, and I think I gotta let y'all know. Sankofa means you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. It's a West African symbol, part of the Adinkra symbols. Y'all can Google it, okay? So what we have happening next is some more poetry from a student by the name of Arnesia. She is going to be reading a poem of hers called Clarity. Please give it up for Arnesia.
The skin I wear is unchangeable. The feelings I have are reversible. The society we live in is unbearable. The times I wish to reverse the so-called curse my mother blessed me with. The times I tried to peel the layers of reasons why people hate me so. The times I believe the negative brainwashing negativity that they push inside my brain was the times that I needed the most help. And when I received that help, it helped me find clarity. Clarity changed me. It helped me be a better me. It helped me be a better me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so scared right now.
Don't worry about it. You got this, girl.
Do it. Help me be a better me. And now I know that I am a strong Black woman.
One more time. And I love the support from the audience, because getting up here, as easy as it may seem for some people, I'm scared right now. This is scary. I can't even see y'all. This is really like, it's lights in my face, you know? And so when we're up here and we're sharing our truths and we're sharing, you know, our art is like our babies when we create something and we get to share it with all of you, you know, that's a scary thing. So thank you, Arnesia, that was beautiful, that was really beautiful. And you are bright, and you are beautiful, and I love you. I don't know where she went. So coming up next, oh, okay, we have a poem by Nia. I think Nia has a poem. But before Nia comes to the stage, I just want to say that as Black people in America, we have I don't want to use the word privilege because it's not a privilege, but it's our struggles and our fight has been at the forefront of news and media, and our bodies have been displayed, almost numbing what society feels when they see us on the streets and when they see us marching on highways and when they see us, all the things that trigger us. And so what I want to say to that is Native American peoples do not have that privilege. When they go through killings and when they're killed by cops and when their women are taken away and murdered, it does not get to go on CNN. And I think as Black people, we can hold our Native brothers and sisters up. And so with this next poem, that's what we're doing tonight. Tonight is about celebrating Blackness, but we are making space for a Native woman to come and share some of her art. So please give it up for Nia.
Forgive me, for this is my first time speaking with a heavy heart. When you ask me who I am, it is easy for me to tell you my name, who my family is, and who my friends are. I can tell you that I am too loud for my own good and that I often spew out nonsense because that is what I'm good at. But one thing I do shamelessly is probably tell you how Native I am. I can tell you that my favorite film is Smoke Signals, and it's not because I'm Native American. It's totally not because my favorite quote is, "You know it's sadder than Indians on TV. Indians watching Indians on TV." Or everybody's line they know, "Hey Victor, I heard your dad left." I mean, that's partly it. It's because the last time I seen it, I was with my tribe, or as normal people call it, family. And when I say tribe, don't get me wrong, we are proud Ojibwe natives. It's because when you got a little over 20 cousins you forgot you had sometimes, you remember you have your own little tribe. Forgive me, for this is my first time speaking with a heavy heart. Forgive me for getting highly upset when I see that girl on Instagram at Coachella wearing a headdress because she doesn't know what it means to earn it like the chiefs that I know. Or when you got that warrior or tribal makeup on your face because you were inspired. Or when you dressed like an Indian princess or like Pocahontas because you felt like it was okay. Because when you wear that headdress, you mocked the tribes who fought for their family and their people. When you were inspired by how my ancestors were mocked by those who wanted us gone. When you dressed like an Indian princess or when you wore that costume, it reminds me that there are small-minded people who think we still live in teepees or wigwams on our reservations. And when I say reservations, I mean the small areas of land the government decided to leave us. And when I say decided to leave us, I mean barely 2% of the population is made up of those who once called it home.
Say it.
Home, which no longer belonged to the ancestors that run in generations after. Because when I think about those generations, I think about the treaty rights, but we were never treated right. Forgive me, for this is my first time speaking with a heavy heart. I am tired of seeing my brothers, my sisters, and my relatives struggle to remember how much pride can be held knowing your own culture. It makes me upset that this is the closest thing that I have to my culture, because in the 4th grade, we were allowed to tell you our names and where we lived, but we were not allowed to know where we came from. So forgive me for having this shadow of sadness when I see all of my beautiful relatives from descents of other cultures boasting their traditions, boasting the beautiful traditions they have. Forgive me for having this envy. I see my brothers and sisters all around the world loving who they are because I don't know who I am.
That's my magic. $1 million question. This the $1,000,000 question. I cannot think of who said this quote. I am my ancestors' wildest dream. Who said that? Oh, I mean, I know, but who? I don't know it. Okay, take out your Googles. $1,000,000 question. But when we think about, if you're black or brown living in America, like you are your ancestors' wildest dream, because people have tried so hard to not have us survive and not have us live in this country. So if we're living right, y'all can cheer louder for that. Like we here. Like if you're black or brown, you are your ancestors' wildest dream, living in this country, and honoring them is resiliency, and honoring them is so game changing. You know, they didn't want us to be here. Not our ancestors. So with that being said, the next poet who was already seen up here is Lamonte, and he's going to be giving you his poem, Ancestors. Give it up for Lamonte!
Ancestors brought here on ships, chains on their wrists and feet covered in filth. A 4-month passage, 4 centuries enslaved. Laws that kept them from being humans caused our minds to believe we're still slaves.
Short and sweet, to the point. He came here and was like, I got something to say, thank you. The next group we have coming up is another scene from the same Theater 1 class. What I love this whole idea about thinking about blackness and thinking about the diaspora is that we all of us with this brown skin, this black skin, we have a connection to Africa, and that is what links us. And for those of us who didn't grow up with the privilege of knowing the country or the tribes that we come from, we have our blackness to remind us where we come from. And whether we are descendants of slaves or immigrants, we all have a story that links back to that land. And so this next scene is telling you about moving to America from Africa. So this is a student's experience. It's called Home. Please give it up.
You got this. Let's give them a 3, 2, 1 action. And
3, 2, 1, action!
Home. There are only 2 stories.
Home. And leaving home. And leaving home. Apa lagi tegay. Guri like a bahar.
yes.
Back in Kenya with my lovely family. Who will be the winner today? Nah, they will be I'll win. Hey!
Stop, you guys are a distraction.
Nice.
You don't want to play my controller.
Dang, I'm trying to read a book.
Well,
What are you guys thinking?
Sabrine, Najma, step up. Phone call. You gotta do it. That's why you're here. You can do it. People are here to support you. You got it.
hello, guys. Send help.
Najma, don't hide your face. You got it. We gotta see you, sweetie. You got it.
You look at ticket get DIY. Yeah. Okay, talk to them. Stop pretending. You're not reading it.
That's not true.
Oh, pretend that's home.
Good.
Yes, Mom?
I did tell you to get ready.
Ready for what?
The ticks are ready for you.
But Mom, why do I have to go all the way?
Mama, I already made this up. I already made the ticks for you.
But Mom, there are a lot of schools here. I can study here too.
I know, Mom, but I already made my decision.
She's right, there are a lot of schools here. She could go to a school here.
I know, son, but she has to go.
And if I go away, what is still here? Know that I live on, vibrating through a measure behind a dead veil that you cannot see me through. You will not see me, so you must have faith in me. In the United States, hello, say hi. I'm good. Jacka. Okay. America, Martina Skill, that is why we speak is about but aunts, what do you mean by being careful? Yeah. Mashana Kalis was very well. They could do it. How are they different? Are they angels? Yeah. In your own experience life. Okay, go ahead.
Hi! Welcome to Minnesota School for Friends. What's your name again? Welcome. Here's your classroom.
All right, class, we have a new student today. This is, what's your name? This is Hadija, so make her feel really, really welcome.
Here in the United States, we have classes.
All right, class dismissed.
Hi. Not school so high. And everything you said is true. Everything is different here. Okay, I need to say that from her. Can I take some of my mom? Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Got it now.
Hello, Hor. Hello. Hor, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. What happened to you forced your change? Mom, everything here is so different. These people don't want us. I know, daughter, but you have to deal with it. But Mom, how am I able to deal with these people? That's too hard for me. Listen, Mom, in a few months you're gonna come back. Just deal with it. Okay, Mom. I'm gonna try my best. I wait for the time we can talk together again. Both aware of each other. Until then, live your life to the fullest. And when you need me, whisper your name in my heart. I'll be there.
All right, class, today we'll be presenting our Heritage Project. Kara, would you like to start?
After the Civil War ended, my great-grandparents moved from Mississippi to Minnesota. Well, we're all Minnesotanites.
That is fascinating. What about you, Nora?
My great-great-great-grandparents moved here all the way from Ireland, where they survived the Irish potato famine. And then they came to Minnesota. We're all Minnesotanites.
Isn't it horrible what some people have to go through? What about you, Cece?
My family survived the French Revolution and then moved to Minnesota, where we're all
Okay, we get the point. Well, thank you, class. This has been a pleasure. Yes?
She didn't go there.
Oh, would you like to share?
You say your family went through a civil war. Well, my country is going through that now. You say your people hate us, famine. Well, my people are going through that now. You say your family hate a revolution. Well, that's what my people need. You say you're all Minnesotanites, but all you need is me. What? We'll be better. We'll listen. We'll try. But all we need is to discriminate and gently reject you. Follow your dream. Real and song. Reach for the stars. But never forget where you came from.
Never forget where you came from.
Forget where you came from. I feel like that's the theme of the night. Sankofa, Wakanda. Okay. So up next we have Najma. Get back up here. I don't know where you went somewhere. Najma, you're coming up with your poem. Am I a woman? There you go.
Hustle, hustle.
woman, that's why this letter isn't for me. Am I a black woman, that's why isn't this letter for me. Am I Muslim, that's why isn't this letter for me. Am I covering my head, that's why isn't this letter for me. Why isn't this letter for me? Is it because of my religion, my gender, my skin, or I'm just different from these people?
Thank you, Najma. Up next, we have not an actual student, she's a sibling of a student, and she has volunteered her time to bless us with her voice. She's going to be singing an original song. Her name is Gigi. Give it up for Gigi.
I can still see my reflection across the deep sea. I remember when I was so keen on not being so different than you and me. But there's one thing I remember, is we never lost hope, we never lost matter most, 'cause that's what I miss and that's what I need. All I need is some sincerity, someone to keep me happy, someone to keep me company. That's what I need. Oh, 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 that's what I need. Oh, that's what I need. Oh, baby, that's what I need. Remember when I got so afraid to jump up on that stage, but you still held me up anyways. Remember when I could barely breathe, and I was under the trees, trying to figure out a way to climb on a spaceship and run away, but I never got to that point. And we see that you distant, just like the leaves that fall. All I wanted to know is where's the sincerity when I need it, when I need somebody, yeah. Where does my love go? Where alone? Where does it go? 'Cause I can still remember younger days when I was a kid and I didn't think of anything, and I would just go out and do what I wanted. And now that I'm older, I'm scared to get older and know that my mom and my dad, they can't help me, and I'll be alone, and I don't want to get sad, 'cause that's what I know. You know me the best, 'cause when I get lonely, I'll call you again. Oh, baby, when I get lonely, I'll call you again. I'll call you again when I get lonely. Oh, baby, when I get lonely, I'll call you again. Yeah, yeah, baby, yeah. When I get lonely, oh, yeah, I'll call you again. And I'll be okay.
tighty, tighty, lefty loosey. My grandma taught me that. Thanks, Grandma. Good job. Give it up for Gigi one more time. Beautiful. That was so beautiful. They should have called you instead of Fergie. Sing national anthem. I'm throwing shade. Okay. But Fergie, you messed up, girl. Okay, so next we have another poet. This is our youngest poet of the night. Her poem was just featured in the, it was published in a Washburn book. Actually, I don't know what the book is called, but it was published.
The Washburn Odyssey.
It's called The Odyssey, Shanti. Get it right, girl. It's called The Odyssey. Her poem was published in the Washburn Odyssey. This is our youngest poet, Sueda. Give it up, give it up.
9/11. Everybody put your heads down. Let's have a moment of silence. Pray for the 2,914 who lost their lives that day. 2,914 families cried that day. 2,914 didn't get to say goodbye that day. It's been 16 years, and we still mourn for the people that died that day. They have posters and signs. They still cry because of that day. How about the 2 million people whose lives were lost? Acid thrown on them, cars drove on them, saliva spat on them. 2 million people died that way. All they had was water to survive their children. Parents held back their tears in front of their children that they raised from scratch. They would rather slit their throats than watch their kids die in their arms. 9/11. Yes, it was a sad day. But why think about today? Why is it that when we put on our scarf, we are called terrorists? But when you go to the church, you ain't in the KKK. It's in our skin color that tells if we live or die today. You call us dangerous. You call us the N-word. But at the end of the day, we are the ones pulling the trigger.
Thank you, sweetie. Oh, she's the youngest tonight. You just started me on. Okay, our next poet is Yusra Yusuf. She is. I feel like that was some family or something. With her poem, Not the Right Skin. Yusra, where you at, girl? Hey!
That are put on the pedestal. White skin, light skin, but for me, not the right skin. Shipped away from my reality and told to look like what's on my TV screen. History repeats itself, segregation still exists because you treat us like we aren't the same. Light skins get all the fame, but it's us dark skins that carry the pain. I've been told that only certain colors bring out my dark complexion. No black, no brown, and definitely no red. Why do I have to stick to wearing colors that make me bright, make my complexion light, and society says that's right? Being told that being dark-skinned isn't beautiful, it's only needed to diversify our country. Diversifying our country as if that's the only problem we have. Racism, slavery, and oppression still exist today. You separate us based on the amount of melanin in our skin. You make it so hard for me, for all of us to love our skin. Your harsh words and stares don't go unnoticed. We exclude in our own community, because you treat us like we aren't the same. You advocate and praise the skin color that you think will sell, but what does that do to the little black girl? I was that little black girl.
The sweet, the juice well, that's Tupac, I only know that line. Good job, Yusra. It was amazing. Continuing the conversation and the artistry around skin, our next poet is named Jashawn Gill, and his poem is called My Skin. Let's give it up for Jashawn.
Hello, how's everyone doing? Alright, can we just give it up one more time for all the artists that just performed? Like, yes, and I also thank Ashanti and the Spring, like, for putting all of this together. Like, alright, my piece is called Dear White People, change your words, not your skin. Your white skin is a shield, something like the silver shields policemen wear on their black jackets, protecting their words. Your words, sometimes like a bullet in my black skin, words have power, but you have power too. The power to change them. Words can be stronger than the... Oh, shit.
You got it.
Alright, sorry. Words can be heavier than the burden of the black skin I wear. Sometimes I feel like it's pulling me down like a heavy black anchor, but I am tired of thinking that my skin is pulling me down. Yes, it's forbearing me, but I am patiently waiting to feel like I don't have to hide from my skin. It's my home. My skin is a sanctuary. My skin is powerful. My skin is beautiful. My skin's creamy ebony is what makes me, me. And I shouldn't have to feel like I have to change that. Neither should you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our poetry and singing for the evening. Give it up for all of the artists. Y'all been so good. And now we are going to be moving forward to the fashion show. So, oh my God, I love fashion. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, our fashion show is titled Black Expression. So we're going to be going through just what blackness has looked like fashion-wise over the years. Okay, so move this to the side. Can our first speakers come up? Who's the first speakers?
Joshana and Alexia.
Okay.
Pass them the script. We're having a projector issue right when the slideshow is going to start, but it's all good.
We're just waiting for the projector. I was prepared for this because I'm an improviser. Actually, I wasn't. We're just waiting for the projector. How you guys feeling?
What's it like to work at Washburn in the black box?
Tell them what? Black box? Blackout?
What's it like to work in the black box?
What's it like? Oh, what's it like to work in the black box? I've been working with Crystal for like 2.5 years. It's changed my life. What I tell all the students is like, I was working at a Caribou Coffee. I was hurting my feet and just, oh my God, waking up at 4 a.m. It was horrible. Then this woman named Jen Mandel was like, oh my God, you need to come to this black box. That's my magic again. She was like, you need to come to this black box and just, check it out. And I went in and I was like, Crystal girl, I need to come back. I love it. The youth are amazing. They inspire me every day. They're powerful. They're going to change the world. I thought it was my generation. It wasn't. And it was like, oh, it's this generation right here.
Thanks, Mr. McCreary and Nancy Lee.
Thank you, Mr. McCreary. Okay, here we go.
And Shanti, can we move the music stand? What? The music stand, maybe? Yeah.
Move it?
Yeah.
The Harlem Renaissance.
The Harlem Renaissance started in New York in the Harlem neighborhood. Starting in the 1910s,
He wrote and told stories in realism reflecting his people and culture, telling stories of struggle and happiness in music and laughter. Other mentionables of this time are Zora Neale Hurston, Ethel Moses, and Josephine Baker.
Hidden figures. Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Dorothy Vaughan are the three women that changed NASA together. Katherine was the mathematician that calculated the flight trajectories to Project Mercury.
Mary Jackson was a NASA engineer and Dorothy Vaughan as a NASA supervisor. These women were not recognized for their contributions until the widely seen and respected Hidden film came out in 2016.
There are other people from this time not recognized, such as the Tuskegee Airmen, who were the first African Americans in the U.S. Army Air Corps.
Flying more than 15,000 sorties, earning them over 150 distinguished flying crosses. This helped encourage the integration of the U.S. Armed Forces.
Represented would show the significance of political and cultural meanings in the setting of religious services.
As an advocate for victims of sexual assault. These movements are embedded in our history, heritage, and protest movements in this nation, with action shown up everywhere, including the 1968 Olympics, when Black athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos demonstrated the Black Power salute during their medal ceremony on October 16, 1968. The Children's March tells the story of how the young people of Birmingham braved arrests, fire hoses, and police dogs in 1968. and brought segregation to its knees. These moments and many more are unforgettable and deserve recognition and remembrance.
but also to the United States during the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power movements.
The term dashiki began appearing in print at least as early as 1967. J. Benning, M. Clark, H. Davis, and W. Smith were founders of the new breed of Harlem in Manhattan, New York City, the first manufacturer of the dashiki in the United States.
Motown was a heavily musically influenced time period from 1960 to 1970. It was named after Motown Records, which started in 1959 and was originally named Tamla Records. Motown Records is located in Detroit, Michigan, aka the Motor Town, due to its car distribution and manufacturing companies. Motown became the heartbeat of American pop music, with multi-platinum artists ranging from the Miracles, Temptations, Four Tops, and Supremes, to Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and Jackson 5, it had and has no rival. For many decades, Motown was the highest earning African American business in the United States.
Hairstyle in the mid-1960s during the Civil Rights Movement. The Black Panthers was very known for it. It is a natural hairstyle that African Americans wear to embrace their kinky hair that connects them to their homelands. We would call themselves the Afro-Americans, which means we are people descended from enslaved Africans, to show Black is still beautiful.
The head wrap. African queens and princesses wore head wraps prior to coming to the stage, which was a symbol of honor and royalty. The history of the head wrap can also date back to slavery and the female slave being ordered by the white master to keep her head covered. For some African descended women, wearing head wraps evokes a sense of fashion, pride, and beauty. Originated in sub-Saharan Africa, the African woman's head wrap acquired a paradoxical meaning. During slavery, white overlords imposed its wear as a badge of enslavement and a way to stop enslaved people from practicing traditional African braiding methods. The enslaved and their descendants, however, have regarded the head wrap as a helmet of courage, a uniform of communal identity, standing for absolute resistance to loss of self-definition. 8th century free Carol women
wore head wraps as a sign of rebellion. Black women to this day still fight for the right to wear head wraps, natural hair, or traditional black hairstyles in their place of work and school.
Golden age of rap.
The metaphoric phrase light as a rock, it's explaining how heavy the young lady is. You know what I'm saying, King? Yes, my brother. But I would consider light as a rock a simile because of the usage of the word as. And now, directly from the planet of Brooklyn, MC Light as a rock.
Golden Age is considered from the late 80s to the mid-90s and had some of the most influential music. The music was socially conscious and defined the landscape of rap music for generations to come. This genre of music brought truth from the world around us and the trouble facing African Americans in society at this time, that included the war on drugs. The rap group, the NWA, was put under heat for the content of their music during this time, but the people loved it.
One time. The hoodie. Yo, all I need is one mic, one beat, one stage, one front, one face on.
Hoodies have taken on a new meaning since the murder of Trayvon Martin in 2012. Since then, hoodies have become symbolism for solidarity with the many unarmed black people who have been senselessly murdered for simply being in the world with black skin. Hamlin professor Jason Soul and Andrew Wright founded the Humanize My Hoodie project to foster critical conversations about threat perception.
With the senseless killing of Trayvon Martin, many conversations spurred about people of color, black people in particular, and their use of hoodies. Humanize My Hoodie seeks to further the discussion and disseminate the stigma associated with this clothing item. The Humanize My Hoodie project is an opportunity for people to discuss the way in which we view threat. This is a nationwide movement.
If you really think you're ready to die,
The hijab is a head covering cloth that comes in all different sizes and shapes. It is worn in public by many Muslim females. It gives a sense of protection and security. The hijab is a religious statement of modesty. It gets often mistaken for a sign of obligation and oppression. Each individual female has her own choice of freedom, and for many people, the hijab makes them feel free. Recently, mainstream noticed and acknowledged many Muslim females in their hijabs, including the burkini in the swimwear collection. You can see now hijab is shown on runways, models all over the world.
Black excellence.
She like music, she from Hills, like Auntie Beyonce. But my daughter couldn't have a better mother. If she ever find another, you better love
before we close out, first of all, good evening. My name is Rhonda Dean, principal. I'm proud right now to be a part of this staff and a part of this experience. These kids are wonderful. Let me say that again. These kids put this show together in 2.5 weeks with the assistance, of course, of Miss Crystal Spring. Appreciate you, love you, and thank you for everyone for coming out this evening. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I did.